you for joining. Tonight we're going to be talking about time management, time budgets. It's really simple if you break it down simply, and I've got this method here that I am basically going to use as an example. It's from, excuse me, I feel like I got a burp, but I guess it's not coming. I literally got 2 drinks here. I've got my ketones that I absolutely love, and this one is the cherry flavor. I still have half a pack of cherry left, so I put it in there, and then I've got just some plain water in this, so I need to take a sip of this. All right, let me move this to the side. Okay, so yeah, so we're gonna do time management and budgeting, and this is a method that Napoleon Hill came up with. In a way, I revised it to make it more usable, but it's based on one of his books, which this one came from. I don't know if it actually was in here. It was one of his lesser known books, I do remember. And so I wanted to make sure it's addressed, so I wanted to make time budgeting because I think we overcomplicate our time budgets, and I wanted to make it really simplified for you guys. I'm constantly always working on my time budgets because I've always homeschooled my kids. We've done a lot of traveling over the years, so I constantly need to update my time budgets and how I fit everything in. We don't have a normal school schedule. We normally would take a month off, and then we could put more hours in the evening or in the mornings, especially when we're getting ready to study for a test, or they need to work on a certain area. We will literally concentrate on a certain area of their schoolwork, so they master it before we engage in any other areas that they're stronger in. So, I've been doing this for 15 years, so working out of my house, working with my kids every day. So, my schedule has never been fixed. It's never been a fixed schedule. It's been very flexible. And then with all their activities and the travel schedule, it's really hard to maintain a normal 9 to 5 or a normal schedule in general. So I just call it our life. It's always been our life, like I said, for the past 15 years. So we definitely fell into this routine that just as long as we're disciplined and get our projects done and get our goals, put in place, then, we'll succeed. We'll get to the next level. And I do want to do a little shout out here because literally I can't believe I missed this. I can't believe, when was it? Last week was Mother's Day, right? I had to shout out to my older daughter, Delphine Thornton, because she's an amazing teenager. She just turned 15 a few months ago. And she made me this, and apparently it was folded, and I had it on a stack of papers that I was working on. And I was organizing, and I found it, and I'll show you. So she made a collage for me, and you can see that yes, I did lose a lot of weight. There's me there, and that was over 2 years ago, and there you guys go. So isn't it amazing? I don't know. My kids are wonderful. So and there's her and me. There's her and my youngest, and there's her. There's my daughter Delphine, then there's Nadia, and there's Ivan. So Delphine, Nadia, and Ivan, my 3 children. So they're all amazing. Anyhow, I just had to say something about that because I just found it, and I went and gave her a big hug before I started, and a kiss, and yeah. So I'm just so excited. Anyhow, had to do a shout out to my kids. All right, so like I said, so it depends what you do day to day, but this will work with any type of schedule. I know for my parents, they've been entrepreneurs for, I always like to say 40 years. It's been my whole life. I'm not quite 40, but it's forever. They've been in business forever. Back when I was really, really little. And their business is semi-seasonal. It's in fencing. So like building fences, not like fencing, but so in the winters it is more of a downtime for them, even though they do work through the winter. But their schedules change too. Their hours change. They stay open longer, of course, in the summer. They stay open longer hours, on the weekends and at night too. And like I said, so everybody's schedule is not like a 9 to 5, even when I did work for people like years and years and years ago, this was before like I was like 19, because I started pretty much working for myself when I was 19. So that was many years ago. Even when before I didn't have a normal schedule, I didn't like working days. I worked a few weekends for the Renaissance Fair when I was a teenager. I worked a little bit at the fence company with my parents for many years. When I was very young, I started working with them when I was like 10, 11, 12. And then, like I said, Renaissance Fair and stuff. I worked at Hostess. I worked for the United States Postal Service. I'm telling you this to give you an idea that not everybody has a fixed schedule. And this will work, this plan, this time management will work for you. And then I worked a lot of nights. I worked nights, like anywhere I can work nights, because I was going to school during the day. I was taking some classes at a very far away community college. Lived out in the middle of nowhere, so literally was driving like 3 hours a day just to get to town. So it was definitely a struggle there. But like I said, so I totally made it work, and I know if I can make it work, you guys can make it work too. So I've got this schedule here. Like I said, this is by Napoleon Hill. I just kind of updated it for you guys. So you can make it easier, and you'll realize like really quickly how much time that you're wasting. I'm going to put that out there, because I still fall into this. I still fall into the wasted time. And I have to like nudge myself along, which my kids are really good about this. So I just tell them, hey, I'm trying to get this project done. Just make sure I stay on top of this, okay? And my older daughter's amazing about this. She is my time manager. So I make sure she knows. She sets my alarms. She even gives me a schedule. So, all right. So I'm going to break it down. I'll first just go over it, because like I said, it's super simple, and then I'm going to break it down a little bit further with you guys, just so you can see how easy this is to put into your schedule. All right, so this is the normal schedule, right? The normal schedule we're all like programmed into doing. We all like not really even think about it, but we fall into this schedule, and then you realize, when you start following like really active singers, you follow like CEOs of companies, you follow people you admire that you want to be like, that you want to be successful like, you want to earn what they have, say if it's a sports car or, a fancy house or whatever. Most of these people, in fact, every single one of them falls into this schedule. And not the schedule I'm about to tell you. This is like the normal schedule, but everybody that I've been studying over the last couple months, they fall into the advanced schedule, the actual schedule that, we don't naturally know about. We don't naturally, think about or think about changing. So the normal schedule is usually 8 hours sleep, right? We always get told that we should get like 8 to 9 hours sleep. None of us usually do, because we're too stressed out, right? So we're too like overwhelmed most of the time. And so you're supposed to get 8 hours sleep, right? And then you get 8 hours work, right? And then you got 8 hours of spare time. Now your spare time could, be driving and commuting and things like that, but you have 8 hours of spare time. You might lose an hour because you work a 9-hour work day, because an hour is taken off for your breaks. But in general, you get 8 hours sleep, 8 hours work, and 8 hours spare time, right? And you could do whatever you want with that 8 hours spare time. Now, I'm gonna point out a couple things that he like addresses, and when he talks about, this is Napoleon Hill I'm talking about, when he talks about managing your day. And I want to, alliterate, some things that make this not the ideal schedule. And then I'm going to tell you what is the ideal schedule and why is that. Okay. So I'm just going to read it, actually, the paragraph right off of here, because it is so on point that I'm just going to make it super simple and just read it straight off of here. All right. You can't mess around much with the first division or your health will suffer, right? You can occasionally steal an hour or two from your sleep, which is a bad habit. Don't create any bad habits. The 8 hours spent at work are potentially your most direct production, right? You need to stay focused on your purpose and your habit of going the extra mile if this is to be the case. The preceding 15 chapters, because it's out of a book, and then I'll skip that. Let me see, where does it go on? Okay. So it basically says these are tips to manage your time to more efficiently attain your purpose. The last 8 hours is your spare time, right? Because we talked about you get 8 hours sleep, but we never usually do because for whatever reason we seem to always say we lack time, but we have all this time that we're just wasting, and then we lose sleep because of that, And so I'll go more into that in a second. All right, and then we seem to manage them. You need to manage them well, or you'll find them all slipping away in routine house chores, rerun of Mr. Ed. Totally love Mr. Ed. And listening to your neighbors talk about his lawnmower, right? This can be harder, but I'll give you some guidelines. And it goes on to more management stuff, like I said, but you don't need to know all this stuff. I'm going to keep it super easy for you on what you really need to focus on. Okay, so like I addressed, and I'll run through it again. So our 8 hours sleep, we never get enough 8 hours sleep. Like I said, there's so many times that I stayed up way too late and felt frustrated because, I didn't get what I wanted to do done. I didn't reach my deadline. I didn't reach my goal for the day. And, but yet I was just laying there. I was very lethargic. And the more lethargic I was falling into this habit of just always sleeping, right? Always sleeping, always resting, always not feeling energized, even though I was, resting more than I was doing stuff, which is crazy to think that the more you rest, the more tired you are. But it's totally true because I basically been studying my own habits. So I found that, if I was feeling tired and I would take a nap, for some reason, I would get in a cycle that I'd always want to take a nap, and then I'd lose 2 to 3 hours. And if I didn't catch myself after day 2 and totally just pull myself out of that, then it became a bad habit. I just okay, I'm tired. Why am I always tired? And I always question myself, why am I feeling tired? What's making me feel this way? Is it something that I'm not doing that's causing this? Is it something that I'm eating? Is it something that I'm feeling inside that I just don't, it doesn't resonate right now and I need to work that out? So you have to really stop yourself and say, hey, do I want to feel like this? And then if I don't want to feel like this, if I don't want to feel lethargic, if I don't want to have this bad habit that I always go in the kitchen and grab something, at this certain time, how can I break that? What's going to redirect me? And the way I did it is, I did my 10 mile for 10-day challenge. So I totally was just I'm going to get out of this funk. I'm going to totally switch my schedule around. I literally set a time schedule. My daughter helped me work it out. And I narrowed down the hour, the 30-minute sections. I'm going to do this, 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 I'm going to do this. And most of the stuff is stuff I was already doing during those times, but I made sure that she knew, that everyone knew that I had a schedule and I was taking 4 hours out of my day, which at that time, I was even feeling I don't even know where the heck I'm going to get 4 hours from because I'm tired and busy. And, and I'm just how can I be tired and busy? I'm not reaching the goals that I already set in place. So I wasn't feeling fulfilled. I wasn't feeling like I was giving it my all. And so I was you know what? I'm going to squeeze it in. I know I have the time because I'm not hitting my goals and I should be hitting my goals. And just switching that up and taking 4 hours and saying, you know what, 4 hours is going into my health and wellness, period. And I made it work. 10 days I did it. And not only did I get the exercise, the reward with the exercise, the feeling great and wonderful, and I wasn't tired. I went from being tired to not being tired and having more energy. I also gained a lot of knowledge because I literally cleared like 6 books during my walks. So 2 of them were brand new books for me. I got done with, well, it's almost done. It's a really big book. It's like 17 hours, I believe. And that is the one about Amazon. I think it's called Unboxing Amazon. It's an amazing book. I totally recommend it. Another book that I went through like a gazillion times already. What is it? I can't think of it. Not the Law of Success. Not the Outwitting the Devil. Not the Think and Grow Rich. Something else by Napoleon Hill. I can't think of it right now. I think it's Sell Your Way Through Life. Excellent book. It's a shorter one, so definitely get it. But yeah, so I cleared like 6 books during my walks, for 4 hours. So I'm totally going to do it again. It's on my schedule to do it again. I had to like stop because I needed to refocus on some projects that came up and completing those projects that I told you that I wasn't getting finished. Which now I am proud to say that they're almost completed. I worked out what issues I was having with them, and now I feel energized and excited about it again. So sometimes you just need to stop what you're doing and restructure your schedule and make sure that you just totally switch it up. Like totally take a break from whatever you're doing, focus on something else that you can improve on, and build a schedule around that. Okay, so we all already went deep into, why the 8 hours of sleep, the 8 hours of work, and the 8 hours spare time doesn't work. Because you still feel like you're tired and you don't complete anything, right? You don't have any fulfillment. So the upgraded version of this is you're taking, okay, so this is what it is. I'll just run through it and then I'll explain each one. All right, so 1 hour a day, you need to meditate. And what I mean with meditate, you are going to make goals. You are going to, write in your journal. You are going to ask yourself difficult questions. You're going to personally develop your mental health within you. You're going to, watch my videos because I talk about this every single day. So there you go. That's an hour. You can watch an hour of me on YouTube because there's plenty on there now that you can start watching. So you're going to self-improve and you're going to reflect on things that you're struggling with and write it down because that's going to help you not only release it from you, but also analyze why you're feeling that way. So number 2, and I told you I was going to explain this after, which you're getting some bonuses here. Okay. All right. So that's for 1 hour a day. You're going to meditate. We're just going to call it meditate. 2, for 2 hours, you are going to do some type of giving back. Community service, we'll call it. So 2 hours, you're going to do some type of community service. And what I mean with this, and I'll run through it and then I'll explain it again. But what I mean with this is you are going to interact with people in your life or new people, period. However that is, if you want to donate your time, your money, your resources, you are going to connect with somebody or, in your network or somebody out of your network with no thoughts of getting anything from them. Let me put that in there. You are just going to grow as a person just by lending your ear, your time, your whatever wealth if you want to donate to a cause. But you're not going to expect anything. And I don't want you to think of that because it's going to totally kill the vibe. And you're just going to listen and be nice and kind and build your relationships. Okay. So number 3, you are going to self-improve for 1 hour. So you got 1 hour of meditation, 2 hours of community service, and you got 1 hour of self-improvement. Now this self-improvement, I want you to focus on learning. You're going to study and learn. And I'll go in to this a little bit deeper here in a second. Study and learn for 1 hour. All right, and then another hour, you are going to connect with your closest friends and or your business associates that you work with. You are going to connect with your closest friends or your business associates who you work with. And what I want you to concentrate on this area is the reason why you are connecting with your business associates and your close friends is because you're building a relationship to make something great, which I'll go into a little bit more of that too. So if you've noticed, I've talked about 1 hour of meditation. I talked about 2 hours of community service. I talked about 1 hour of reading or self-study. And then I talked about 1 hour of, contacting your personal friends, building relationships. If you have kids, put your kids in the one that can be any of these because kids would love to hang out with you while you're reading. You can read to them. You can definitely do something with your community, with your kids. You can definitely, meditate with your kids. You can definitely, involve them with your personal friends and business associates. So there's no excuses if you have kids. I just want to throw that out there because that's the number one excuse that I see people put out there, that they're married or have kids. No excuses. Okay, so that's 5 hours, right? That's only 5 hours. All right, now your 3 hours is your fun time. Whatever the heck you want to do. If you want to blow it on a 3 hour marathon watching TV, whatever. If you want to blow it on, a marathon, even though that's a good way to blow it, right? You're going to be doing a marathon because you're going to put more exercise and work on yourself. If you want to meditate for 3 more hours, totally fine. If you want to be lethargic and lay on the couch for 3 hours, there's your 3 hours. You got 3 hours to do that. You play video games. You can record yourself playing video games and have a YouTube channel and then make some money too. So you got 3 hours to do that. You can even read more books and self-develop yourself. You can go take a class somewhere, 3 hours. Okay. So that was 8 hours. Now let's look back at that normal schedule, right? The normal schedule is 8 hours sleep, 8 hours work, and 8 hours spare time. Well, that 8 hours that we just went over is your 8 hours spare time. And look how much more you're getting out of it. You got meditation, you got 2 hours of community service, you've got 1 hour self-improvement, and you've got 1 hour of hanging out with your awesome friends or business associates. So you are already more fulfilled as a person because you did all of this in one day, So you are building your connections, you are building your self-esteem because you're taking care of yourself, and you're not wasting. You still got 3 hours to do whatever the heck you want, So plenty of time. And there's no excuses if you commute either, because I know in my area, literally the average commute's like 2 hours one direction. And yes, I know it's hard. 2 hours sitting in a car is hard. I did it for many years in my early 20s, lots of commuting. I did event photography at the time. I owned a photography business for 6 years. But I still self-developed, even when I look back. Before I learned about how to budget my time better, I literally had Zig Ziglar playing on my it was a CD back then, or Nano plug-in, but I still made time to do something useful with my 3 hours of sitting in the car. Actually, it was 3 hours one way. It was 3 hours one way. I was doing a project for Cisco Food Services. I was taking photos of a huge building, multi-billion-dollar whatever industry, food industry. They deliver all the food for the East Coast. Amazing project. It was an amazing thing to be involved in. But 3 hours one way. I had that CD playing the whole time because I wanted to learn new skills I didn't know. So no excuses there. You can definitely meditate. You can turn off the radio and drive. You can learn in 3 hours. You can call all your closest friends. You can talk about business. So no excuses on even if you're, commuting. Even if you're taking your kids somewhere, you could still, put a self-development tape in or CD, or put in some motivational music. My daughter, she's literally right over here, my youngest, and we listen to a self-development course every single night. Motivational talk, or we listen to successful people's bios. So that is our new thing. And I say new, but it's really not new. We've been doing it for like 6 months now. So, but she enjoys it, so we still do it. And I enjoy it. All right, so, you definitely have the time to switch up your hours, and I'm going to run through this again. And anything that I feel that I might have missed, I'll add back in here. All right, so we've got your 8 hours of still work, whatever you do for work. And for your work, I recommend that if you're not happy in your work and your business and whatever you're doing, you find your purpose in life. You find what really fulfills you every day. Because 8 hours of doing something that you're not happy with doing and, and grudging through the day is not a way anybody should live. Even if you might have to give up some things like a fancy new car or, expensive food stuff. Natural food is actually cheaper than anything else. Like, when you just buy like lettuce and broccoli and stuff like that. And there's many a times I've lived years with just rice and canned vegetables. It's totally doable. Dry beans, totally doable. Like I said, how much are you willing to change your life for the best life ever, for your purpose? So you got 8 hours that you use for your work. If you're not happy doing what you're doing in life, start with, this how many hours, this 1 hour of self-improvement and your extra 3 hours. So you've got 4 hours every single evening that you're wasting doing something that you could be learning a new skill. So or running a side business that can eventually turn into a business. So make sure you work on that every single day until it takes off. You never give up on this, okay, ever. I don't care if it takes you 20 years down the road until you become successful in something that really will make you happy 20 years from now. Because when you hit that 20 years, you will be the happiest person on earth, I tell you, when you finally reach success on something that really keeps you going, that really makes you passionate about life. So never give up on that. This is your life. You only have one, so make sure you make the best. All right. Like I said, so you got all this time. I broke it down, so you got your 8 hours of work. You got your 8 hours sleep. Don't ever neglect your sleep. Go figure out where you're getting your 8 hours of sleep. You have to adjust your time and get 8 hours sleep. And you need 8 consistent hours of sleep. You need to have that deep rest. So make sure you're getting 8 hours every single night. So let's see. And then of course, the other 8 hours, you've got that 1 hour of meditation where you self-reflect, you journal, you watch my videos, you read affirmations, which I also have affirmations. You can find them at amenak.com. And I'll say it again, it's amenak.com. You can just look at my name, that's how you spell it. It's first and middle. All right. You can even do some yoga. You can, join a group meditation, which I have a group meditation group. That's amazing. We meet every single day. Find something that's gonna fulfill you, where you can self-reflect, where you have time within yourself that you're listening to yourself, and ignore all that crap that you tell yourself to. You don't want to listen to that. So you just say, hey, I'm in control of my thoughts. I'm in control of my mind. I don't want to live like this. I want to think better. I want to be better and start, being more positive. So the other thing is, 2 hours, you have to, give back in some way, community service with your friends and family, anything that's going to keep you happy. If you want to, make some bracelets for that hour that you're going to eventually donate, to retirement homes, Maybe you want to, start a Kickstarter and raise funds for a cause. Maybe you want to start a nonprofit to raise money for your local high school. There's so many things that you can do. You could put 2 hours in and, find something that's going to make you really happy and compassionate, giving back to your community and the people in it. All right. Number 3. So number 3 is self-improvement for an hour. This is reading and studying. This is like all your books that you've been collecting that has been keeping dust. This is watching educational YouTube videos. Things that I want you to really focus on this area. If something in your work or something that you want to be your work, your life, right? You want to be, learning about how to improve that. You want to be the best at whatever that passion is. So make sure you're using that time to make that the main focus of what you're learning. Okay, and then the other hour is to align yourself in your business, to connect with your business associates, connect with your close friendships. And if you don't like your friends, if your friends are negative, if your friends are, want to stay at the bottom and you want to race to the top, then you're going to have to use this time to build out a better network. And I'm just going to put that out there. So, make sure that you are focusing on, who you want to become, where you want to be in 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years. Start working on that person today. Start working on that network today. And, start building those business alliances and friendships. And you've got a whole hour to reach out to new people. So definitely. And then you still have the 3 hours. So you can use your 3 hours to do whatever the heck you want. You can, of course, if you have a family, if you have a house, if you have a spouse, if you have kids, you're going to definitely use at least 1 hour to clean, right? You can at least clean for 1 hour every day. You've got 24 hours. You can use 1 hour at least to clean something, so do some laundry. And then you still have 2 more hours, right? So that's still a lot of time. Go hang out outside. I recommend every single person to go spend an hour outside every single day. It's not only good for you because you get fresh air, but you need some sun in your life. So, all right. That's about it. So I'm just looking over here, seeing if I missed anything I really wanted to cover. And I think I pretty much got everything I wanted to cover. So if there's any questions, comments, if you want to learn more about how to break down time budgets, if you need help breaking down your time budget, reach out to me. My number is on all my social media. So, totally feel free to reach out to me, and I'll make sure it's addressed in in another video in the future. And I look forward to seeing you guys again tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. My name is Amena K. Thornton. You can find more about me at amenak.com. I wish you all a lovely, wonderful night, and thank you for tuning in and spending this time with me. All right, take care, guys. Good night.